Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Understanding reality is not that simple. It looks as though there are different things. Each object has its own reality. The tree is real, the leaf is real, the trunk is real, the bark is real. Everything in the tree seems to be real. There are so many realities in the reality of tree. Bark is a reality. If you look into bark, so many other realities will emerge. In fact, if you look into the reality of any object, many realities emerge. And therefore, the reality of tree, apart from the reality of trunk, the reality of twigs, branches, and leaves. What is the reality of tree? The reality of tree disappears, and each one of them, if you take the reality of each one of them, then that reality goes, yielding itself to realities. All of them yield to cells. A cell itself yields itself to some other reality. And therefore, understanding reality is a vexing problem. But for us, it's a rewarding pursuit. It's a highly rewarding pursuit. Because if all that is here is, when I say, is one reality. So that means this one reality, does it consist of many realities? If it consists of many realities, that one reality goes. Therefore, you have a very important discussion in the Upanishads, otherwise known as Vedanta. The Upanishad looks at the reality differently. It says, whatever you consider as something real, is real all right. But the reality lies elsewhere. What is construed to be true and real is not true and real. An example is given. Pot and clay. Earthenware and clay. Doesn't even say pot. Any clayware, anything made of clay, you take, just for an example. So made of clay is this pot. Is born of clay. We have a name, pot. But then, when you look at this pot in terms of its reality, the weight of pot is the weight of clay. Correct? The weight of pot is the weight of clay. Then what is this pot, weightless pot? Pot has no weight, and your argument carries much less weight. That there is a pot. It's just ridiculous that a human being with such a big head over his shoulders should never dwell upon this and doesn't dwell upon this and carries along his life and has marital problems. This is a very important issue. It's an issue of reality. We count the parts, we miss the clay. And then we are such great intellectuals that we count the parts and recognize the clay as an attribute of part. And we say, without any shame, clay part. There is no clay part. There is only potty clay. All that is there is clay. Yeah. I've been keeping this for a long time. It has developed a crack. Okay. It's a crackpot. This is not a crackpot, it's a cracked pot. Okay? So, crackpot is elsewhere. So, this is a pot. If I look at it, all that I see is clay. Wherever this pot exists, I recognize clay. The weight of pot is weight of clay. Before the pot was born, it was clay. Even now it is clay. Pot is gone, it will be clay. Clay is not cracked. Pot is cracked, okay? And therefore, if a pot were to think I am a pot, it will be a crack pot, okay? So, it is a crack pot. And so, and in fact, it has to take itself to be clay first, clay last. Pot is a form. We cannot dismiss the pot as non-existent. We can't take it as independently existent. All that is there is clay in a particular form. That form is called pot. Not clay is pot. That form is pot. And that form, elsewhere it exists, where there is silver, then it's pot. Recognize a pot. Then do you know what you say? A silver pot. This is clay pot. Then brass pot. Then plastic pot. Then golden pot. Why not? Golden pot. For an example, it is okay. Golden pot. But all that is there is that particular substance. Pot is therefore a form. So we can say pot is gold, pot is clay, pot is silver, pot is steel, which is more appropriate. But that's not our language. You don't change your language. And don't quote me also. And the Swami said, party clay, therefore, is a party clay. You know. Already, so the spouse thinks there is something wrong with the person doing yoga, and the spouse doesn't join yoga camp. And if that is the case, then don't change your language, please. And therefore, so party. Let the clay pot be clay pot. Let us understand. Therefore, what should I say? Should I say the pot doesn't exist? Pot holds water. And therefore, there is such a thing as pot, but not independent of clay. Here, clay can be in any form. It happens to be in a pot form. Clay can be in any form. Can be lid. It can be a cup. It can be in any form. And therefore, we can't dismiss that there is no pot. And therefore, pot is not non-existent. Very important to know that. Pot doesn't exist by itself. What is the reality of pot? Here, we say it is neither existent nor non-existent. Look at the double negative. Nor non-existent, neither existent by itself. It is in between. It is in between. In between means our categorical mind the mind that one who wants to understand reality in categorical terms. One cannot categorically say it doesn't exist. Cannot say it exists. This is what we say. Anirvachaniyam. Can't be dismissed as non-existent. Can't be taken as existent. And that's what the pot is. In fact, anything that you deal with is. Any one thing you take. Your shirt cannot be dismissed as non-existent. Cannot be taken as existent because it is fabric. There is no independent existence of fabric. So neither shirt is non-existent, nor it is independent of fabric. Shirt is fabric. If shirt is fabric, can I say fabric is shirt? No. You can't say. Shirt is fabric, but fabric is not shirt. This is all the way. This entire thing that exists, subject and object, both of them are not independent of consciousness that is spatially limitless, time-wise limitless. No object can be independent of this consciousness. Therefore, this, what we say consciousness, Chid Ananda, Chidananda, is the truth of anything. Space is Chidananda. Time is Chidananda. A galaxy is Chidananda. Sun is Chidananda. Moon is Chidananda. Your body is Chidananda, a cell is Chidananda, a particle is Chidananda, and the observer of the particle also is Chidananda. Both of them enjoy the same plank. That's why what happens to the observer is picked up by the particle too. The observer decides to measure the velocity of the particle. The particle behaves like a wave. The observer decides to recognize the position of the particle. Particle behaves like a particle. And we say it's a dual behavior of particles. It's not dual behavior. You decide its behavior. Therefore, one physicist was telling, both the observer and the particle enjoy the same plank, the same truth, which we recognize here as Chidananda. So the subject is Chidananda, the object is Chidananda. Look at that. The subject is Chidananda, the object is Chidananda. The subject and object, with all its peculiarities, the subject with the faculty and so on, this is what we say Ishvara, God, Shiva. This is what we say Shiva. Shiva means Ishvara. This Chidananda, with reference to the subject peculiarity, the subject features, there is a certain put-together situation. You cannot be a subject like a seer unless you have eyes, you have a mind, the faculty, that is put together. For it to manifest, the faculty to manifest, there must be brain cells. That's all put together. There's anatomy, there is prana. This put together status enjoyed by the subject, enjoyed by the object. A leaf is put together, my eyes are put together, what is seen is put together. And therefore, this put-together status implies knowledge, presupposes knowledge. Because it is intelligently put together. So this intelligently put together anything. So this entire Jagat, Jagat means all that is here. known plus unknown. That is what is called entire. What I know plus what I don't know. What I don't know includes what I wrongly know also. That's all. So this all knowledge presupposes all knowledge. The entire, let us call it Jagat, the entire Jagat, which includes my body, mind, sense complex. World is not Jagat. It doesn't include my body. It is too gross a word. Jagat is a versatile word. It includes my body, my senses. It's intelligently put together. And therefore, this entire Jagat with all possibilities of a new hardware, new software, with all the possibilities, the entire Jagat put together implies, presupposes knowledge. Knowledge means all knowledge. We are talking of all knowledge. This all knowledge locus is called God. And God means our head goes up. Then you come to Ramanand for getting the sprain, corrected. Or because of looking up to God. The concept is cultural. Oh God, automatic, Faith goes, oh God. Nobody says, oh God. Oh God. Cultural. Nothing wrong. The only thing is, he is also there. There is no problem. You can look up. There is nothing wrong. He is also there. But there is a location. Give up that location. Becomes an uncle otherwise. God is uncle. Having a street address in heaven. Nothing wrong with the word. You can say heaven, no problem. As long as you don't give a location, you understand heaven differently. Heaven is not a bad word, not a good word. You can say anything and get away with it. Don't give a street address to God. Then you have to knock at the door. You knock at the door, somebody says from inside, hey, God has gone out, he will come later. All kinds of problems. Comes another uncle. But you cannot dismiss this. Anything intelligently put together presupposes knowledge. And there is putting together. My eyes, my ears, these are all very purposefully put together. one thing you take. And therefore, if somebody were to imagine a person having all knowledge, all power and Shakti, and that person is not locally available, of course. Anyone you come across has limited knowledge, limited power, is already a given. He has a given body. He or she has a given body, given mind, given senses, and therefore the giver is not local, therefore non-local. Therefore, if this person were to imagine a heaven, I won't be surprised. But what is necessary is a little more thinking, okay? Half thinking is dangerous. Either you don't think and live like a monkey, no problem. No, I mean, no big thinking. So monkey is very happy being a monkey. And it doesn't want to become different. It doesn't want, it has no becoming process. No monkey wants to become different. Even Indian monkeys are happy being in India. They don't apply for immigration. Really. So they are happy being in India. They don't, among themselves, they don't think, they don't have class complex. I'm a squirrel monkey, small monkey. Complex. There is one squirrel monkey. Have you seen that? It's a small monkey. It's a monkey. And there's a big one. Our great-great-grandfather. And so and therefore, what I say, so there are different monkeys. So one is, everybody is happy being what is. Until he becomes a man. The monkey has to become a man to develop a complex. To develop a complex. He has to become a man. Means you develop a complex, you must evolve. Correct? You must evolve. If you don't evolve, you are happy. If you evolve, you become unhappy. Therefore, your question is, should we evolve or not? Should we evolve or not? It's a big question. The question of the evolved person, not the evolving person. The evolved person alone asks this question. Maybe we should go a little more further, think a little more, solve the problem, this complex problem of complexities, complexes, once and forever. Just a few more steps. It's easy to think of all-knowing, all power. But then, if you think this all knowledge, all power, like small knowledge and small power, is away from Chidananda. Chidananda is limitless. So all knowing, all power is Chidananda. Small knowing, small power is Chidananda, correct? How many Chidanandas you have got now? All knowing, all power is Chidananda. Small knowing, small power is Chidananda. And therefore, even monkey is Chidananda. A mouse is Chidananda. Plus, mouse knowledge, mouse power, mouse form, Chidananda. All knowledge, all power, Chidananda. Small knowledge, small power, Chidananda. In this small knowledge, there are differences, okay? It's small knowledge. Somebody more, little more. Somebody knows electrical engineering. Somebody knows mechanical engineering. Somebody knows no engineering at all. But the person knows cooking. Electrical engineering will not give you all those enchiladas, you know. And therefore, so you require to know cooking. Fellow is a good chef. And therefore, what I say, so everybody knows something or the other. And therefore, this small knowing is Chidananda, with all the differences. And thus you find every individual is Chidananda. Great scholar, Chidananda. Plus, whatever scholarship is. Small power, small knowledge, Chidananda. All knowledge, all power, Chidananda. All knowledge, entire Jagat manifesting. Understand, all knowledge, all power manifesting in the form of the entire Jagat, including one single body, mind, sense complex, is Chidananda. Called Shiva. And Chidananda, all knowledge, Chidananda, all small knowledge is Chidananda. All knowledge, Chidananda. And small knowledge, Chidananda, is worshipping all knowledge, Chidananda. Correct? All knowledge, Chidananda. Small knowledge, Chidananda is Shishya, is a disciple. All knowledge, I know. Then this Chidananda, some knowledge, this spiritual knowledge, plus Chidananda is called teacher, Guru. All differences are very, very obvious. The non-difference is not obvious. All knowledge is Chidananda, is not obvious. This small knowledge in any given person is Chidananda, is not obvious. That's what Vedanta is. And therefore, now you have, we don't give a location to God. Every location is God. See the difference? God is not located. Every location is God. In God, everything is located. Chidananda plus all knowledge is God. This all knowledge manifesting in the form of entire Jagat is God, is Shiva. Therefore, the object, Shiva, Chidananda plus object, Shiva. Chidananda plus subject, Shiva. Together, Shiva. But that Shiva, the Lord, is essentially what? Essentially what? Two realities. One reality is the reality like a pot. Pot is clay, clay is not pot. Between the pot and clay, there is no distance, because pot is clay. Does the potness stick to clay? No. Clay remains clay. Correct? All knowledge, Chidananda. Chidananda, free from all knowledge. The entire Jagat, Chidananda. Free from Jagat, Chidananda. You know, the word is, if you negate the entire Jagat, all knowledge, all power, you negate. What you have is Chidananda, who is Shiva. Previously called as Shiva. Now, same Chidananda is Shiva, blemish free. Add Shiva. Remove Shiva. Individual you take. Add yourself. Add small knowledge. Add Chidananda plus small knowledge. So and so. So and so. Minus that small knowledge. Chidananda. Plus small knowledge. Chidananda. Understand now? Don't understand? We have got some more classes to go, okay? Therefore, this is meant for not understanding. This class is meant for confusing. And therefore, so we need to confuse so that we can resolve. Otherwise, we will have no job. And so, Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. What is that? Raga? Have to get that. Bolo? Yeah, Darbari, yeah. Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. There are two things what I said. There is an individual. Once you say an individual, there is total. There is an individual. You are Chidananda plus mind. Clay plus pot, clay. Correct? Clay plus pot, clay. Clay plus cup, clay. Clay plus lid, clay. Clay minus lid, clay. Clay minus cup, clay. Clay minus pot, clay. We have got different types of clay here. Small clay, big clay. Eh? So clay plus 3. 2. Wow. Okay. Only 2 is there. Clay. Wow. Let us have one. One clay. All magic, you know. Wow. 3. How many clays are there? How many clays are there? 3. Correct? If you say 3, do you know what I will say? I will say 4. Why I say 4? That is difficult to understand. Yeah. 4. There is one here also. This is a different type of clay. Wow, is a Maharaja, is a king from India. The fellow lost the kingdom. He lost the kingdom. Got back. You know, even though he lost the kingdom, he retained the costume, correct? So, still, he appears as a king. He lost the kingdom. He was flat. Do you see that? He is flat. You don't see. He is flat. Yeah. Wonderful. Put him this way. Never say die. Put him this way. Come on. His fellow is solid clay. Nothing but clay. Clay. Very educative clay. One clay. Many parts, many things, one clay. And therefore, this understanding of Atma as Chidananda is so important. Add Chidananda plus your mind, Chidananda, plus senses, Chidananda, plus your body, Chidananda, plus what you experience, the Swami now, Chidananda, minus the Swami, Chidananda, minus your body, Chidananda, minus the senses, Chidananda, minus the mind, Chidananda. Add the mind, Chidananda. Add anything, Chidananda. Add anything to infinite, infinite. Remove anything from infinite, infinite. This is what the meaning when you chant Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Purna means infinite. Infinite plus infinite is infinite. And therefore, anything you remove, infinite. Add, infinite. Chidananda plus music, Chidananda. Therefore, Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. That is the truth. It is free from everything. Add, it is the same. Doesn't make any difference. But you have to first negate what I am not, to understand what I am. Therefore, mano buddhyahankara chittani naham nacha shrotra jihve nacha grana netre. The rest of it we'll see. Come back. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.